Hi, my name is Larry Donahue, and I've been a lawyer for 30 years focused on intellectual property, corporate law, and business law. And what I want to talk about today is how to hire a lawyer. I know this seems dumb, but I get a lot of questions. There's a lot of misunderstanding about that. And so I thought I might, help steer some people to find the right fit for their needs. And so just quickly, there's two types of lawyers. Lawyers that are going to get you out of trouble and lawyers that keep you out of trouble. And of course, as you might imagine, when you're in trouble, you're willing to spend a lot of money, even if you don't have it. So the goal here is to hire the right lawyer to keep you out of trouble. Make sure you do the right things, you set up your business the right way, you have the right contracts and agreements in place, and we're going to have some separate videos about that. But lawyers typically charge in three different ways. One is a standard hourly, and what that means is a lawyer or a firm is charging for their time. Whether you get the results you want, you have to pay for their time and their effort and energy. The other two options are contingency and flat rate. And most folks are looking for contingency and flat rate, and it's hard to find lawyers. And let me explain why. Because on fixed rate, it requires a fixed scope where the lawyer can manage the effort in the work and therefore provide a price that they feel confident that will sort of maximize their effectiveness and their revenue. So what would be a fixed scope kind of thing? Setting up an LLC, trademark registrations. What wouldn't be a fixed scope? Maybe a contract. It depends. A lot of contracts are very customized. Definitely, if there's a third party fight involved, that's really hard to control scope. You don't know what the other side's gonna do. Now, maybe in some criminal contexts, tickets, like a speeding ticket, maybe you might be able to find somebody, but they're gonna constrain it, and you need to understand what the bounds are, what they're willing to do within that fixed scope and not. Now, contingency basically means you don't get charged at all, but there's got to be a pot of gold on the other end of the rainbow. And so that typically involves harms, people getting hurt, insurance companies. So if you're a business and you feel like you're owed a debt, 50 grand, even 100 grand, you're not going to find many lawyers willing to do that in contingency. So really, you got to think about what your needs are, and then you find the right lawyer for that. The other thing is, legal fees typically aren't refundable. Retainers are, but not the legal fees themselves. And I'm going to have a separate video talking about that right after this one.